Hello everybody, Miscellaneous here and welcome back to my channel, taking you to offbeat, quirky and interesting tourist attractions. Now this is part 2 of my historic Great Yarmouth vlog. If you haven't watched part 1, I will leave a link at the end for you. In this part we're going to be visiting the Camperdownarches, both pairs, and I even managed to sneak inside the old Great Yarmouth College of Art. Don't forget to give me a like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the notifications bell as well. Come and take a walk in my shoes and I will see you in the video.
Today I'm starting with a walk down Regent Road. And we have Martin's Walk Around store to the right. That's one of my favourite stores in Yarmouth. I love the jewellery there. It's where I got my huge hoop earrings from, the ones that I'm wearing today. Now that boarded up building there used to be the House of Wax. It closed in 2013 after being open for 50 years. Unfortunately, I never got the chance to go in there. It was a waxworks museum and some of the waxworks was so hideous. It would have been worth going in there just for a laugh and trying to work out who on earth is who. Now this always grosses me out. This is a joke shop. And you have the man puking up. Lovely. I'm now heading towards Britannia Pier, which is undergoing renovations. Dean described it as the pier has got its pants down. I love that. Now the original pier lasted from 1858 to 1899, but was demolished following storm damage and a ship's collision. A replacement 810-foot pier opened in 1901, but the present pavilion dates from 1958. There have been 4 fires in the pavilions here in 1909, 1914, 1932 and 1954. When it's not been refurbished though, the pier is very much thriving, with live music acts and comedians such as Roy Chubby Brown and Sarah Milliken putting in an appearance. We have a makeshift walkway to climb across here. Now it was February when I walked down the pier and very, very cold, windy and rainy on this day. The renovations are supposed to be completed in March, but I'll believe that when I see it, quite frankly. You can hear the wind buffering when I've got the volume turned up. I did have to turn it down as music was playing. I don't want Madonna or the estate of Freddie Mercury to come sue me for copyright issues. Hark at that. The wind was whipping up a roar. Do you know, I remember those bumpy slides at the end of the pier from my childhood. I used to love them. Look, you can see rain getting on my camera lens. Now, the fair is always closed at this time of the year. The beach here is actually very, very lovely. Over we look to Marine Parade. I decided to venture underneath the pier because I like to take a nosy underneath the piers. Weirdo that I am. It didn't smell very nice underneath here. It smelled of dog shit. Maybe that man who I mentioned in part 1 who took a dump underneath a tree in the middle of the marketplace should have come here to open his bowels. During the season, you do see donkeys tethered underneath the pier, eating their hay. That's when they have the donkey rides out on the beach. Now, as you can see, the pier doesn't actually go into the water. What is going on here? Did it once go into the water? Someone did tell me that Great Yarmouth is actually gaining ground from the sea and not the other way round. Although further north in Hemsby, it appears to be a different story. If you know what's going on, do let me know in the comments. Enough! I had to get indoors as I was freezing. Another day, and this time I'm taking a wander through St George's Park. Now, the fishy sculptures that arch around this gate are herrings, and the arch was inspired by Great Yarmouth's history. You can make out the War Memorial directly in front of us. Great Yarmouth's history is, of course, as a thriving port with a significant herring industry. Also, during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars, Great Yarmouth was the main supply base town for the North Sea Fleet. Now, here is the old Great Yarmouth College of Art. It was built in 1912 and is the site of my first ever interview as a teenager. It was a horrible day and the interview did not go well. The college looked like it was falling to bits, it really did, and it ended up closing in 1996. It did lay derelict for some years, until in 2011, when it reopened as social housing. Would I like to live here? Yes, I would. The apartments must be so light and airy, with wonderful big windows like that. Is it going to go? And look at the front of the college. That's been restored fabulously. In we go, and it was as I remembered it. I remember walking up these stairs here. The staircase was further forward then, though, without these big stairs at the front, and there was room for 2 doors at the top. There isn't any more. So during refurbishment, they've repositioned this staircase. And this is the corner in which I sat and waited and waited and waited to be seen underneath these windows here. Funnily enough, I don't remember this beautiful banister. Although the building was undergoing restoration then, and there were dust sheets everywhere. But that corner I remember well. I wasn't accepted onto my chosen course. It's not all bad though. Some years later, I did base a story around my experiences that day. I submitted it for one of my MA creative writing projects and got good marks. It's called Walking the Tripwire. It features in here my anthology entitled From Milk to Cream. It's available on Amazon as a Kindle edition and as a hard copy. It's a collection of short stories detailing that often traumatic, sometimes terrible journey that young girls must go through as they climb forwards and upwards into womanhood. I will leave a link in the description, but enough of the self-promotion and on to my next visit. This is the Hippodrome Circus and it dates from 1903. It's a water spectacular built by legendary circus showman George Gilbert. It has a very interesting history. Lloyd George held political rallies here and escapologist Houdini appeared here. It is a water spectacular in that it's a circus ring that drops down, I believe, and then fills with water for water shows. The water spectacular part of it was restored in 1981. Unfortunately, I've never been to a show here. They've never coincided with my visits. I did get to have a brief nose in the cafe though. I didn't stop for a cup of tea as I didn't have time, but next time I will make the effort to have a look around. They've got a bit of a museum here too, and I will make the effort to have a look at that next time as well. We're on Marine Parade, the main drag, and I just want to show you the Royal Hotel. Charles Dickens stayed here whilst writing David Copperfield. Now it's a book which is considered to be autobiographical. There is a plaque on the front of the hotel. It lists the dates of Dickens' residence as 1848 to 1849. I want to go back off the road and show you the Victoria Arches, named in honour of the Queen. Now this larger edifice is called the Wellington Arch and was completed in 1846. The idea was conceived in 1840 as part of a grander plan to turn this area of Great Yarmouth into an esteemed estate, therefore creating a fashionable seaside resort town. Now the smaller arch is known as the Camperdownarch or Wellington Arch, and was built in 1847. The grandiose plans included houses and a hotel, but defective building work, smelly drains and unpaid rents meant that the plans never fully came to fruition. I do sometimes mistakenly refer to both of these arches as the Camperdownarches, and I apologise for any confusion. Now that there is the Embassy Hotel where the Super Dean and I have stayed before in a balcony room. It does get mixed reviews, but we had an okay time there. It was good value for money too, if I recall correctly. Now through here we have Pamela's restaurant. I did check it out and it looked rather posh, but it's now sadly closed. I did see something about them on Facebook recently, and I believe they were auctioning off all of their furniture. To the left, this looks like what was once a working pub. Now, I said I would like to live right here, in the flats above this walkway, with a working pub downstairs, of course. And then what I would do is dangle a cardboard box out of my window, and then the beers or wine or whatever could be put inside, and I could hike it up to the window. How lazy is that? Do check out my blog, as I will always be a writer before anything else. I've got about 8 Great Yarmouth pictorial blogs on there. Over the road we have the gorgeous winter gardens, which have been left to rot and sit derelict. Shipped from Torquay in 1903, this elegant structure has been closed since 2008. In 2018 it was listed as one of the top 10 most endangered important buildings of the Victorian/Edwardian era. I've never had the chance to go in. Now apparently they are being refurbished. Firstly, they said they would be finished by 2026, but now the date's been put back to 2027. All I'm going to say is that I'll believe it when I see it. I would love to go in. It will be interesting to see what they do with the space. Now, Wellington Pier to the right dates from 1853. You've got a bowling alley in there, you've got pool tables, you have an arcade. I didn't dare to film in the arcade. I'm pretty sure they'd have slung me out if I'd have given that a go. Now, the seaward end was restored with a major steelwork renovations in 1971, and I take it the restoration didn't include this derelict section here. I couldn't fit underneath here. I might be short, but I'm not a midget. Up we go for a little wander on the pier. Britannia Pier in the distance. Yes, I will learn how to hold my camera straight. Note to self, make sure your next camera has an inbuilt gimbal. Looking down onto the lost part of the pier. There's the power station visible, looking south from the Wellington Pier. There's the pool tables that I mentioned. They do have a little cafe in here as well. And a bar. I don't think I've ever been for a pint in here though. I know. Open. It's certainly colourful and lively in here. Now this is the Merivale Model Village. I have been in before. It was a very rainy day though. I'll have to come back and do it again. These are the Merivale tea rooms. The Super Dean and I always pop in here for a slice of Norfolk shortcake. It is unmistakably elegant in here. Look at that, isn't the structure beautiful? The pastry cabinet is beautiful too when you're hungry. Yum yum and double yum. Now one place I always love to visit is the old-fashioned penny arcade. Here you change your money for old pennies and there are things such as one-armed bandits for you to play. But I like these. They show you a tableau. Look at this. We have a haunted house. Look at the skeletons. And we have a ghost popping up at the back. Now, at this end of Great Yarmouth sits the Nelson Monument. It's in the middle of an industrial estate, and this was built between 1817 and 1819. The monument, that is, not the industrial estate. It is a dedication to the local naval hero, has a statue of Britannia on the top, and is 144 feet, that's 44 metres, high. The top can be reached by 217 steps. It does open on some Sundays in the summer. Horatio Nelson's battles saw him lose both his right eye and right arm. When asked to raise his right arm when being rewarded the freedom of Great Yarmouth, he replied, "That is in Tenerife." Britannia looks inwards towards Nelson's Burnham Thorpe birthplace. There are some information boards here. You can see the door there. That's where you have to enter if you want to take the 217 steps to the top. I'd love to give it a go. I know the monument came first, but it does seem a rather strange place to have it, plonked down in the centre of an industrial estate. I think they could have done something a bit better with the area around here. Also at this end of Great Yarmouth is the old Royal Naval Hospital, which is now private residences. It dates from 1811 and it was created for the sick and injured of the North Sea Fleet engaged in war with France. It had an operating theatre and a mortuary. These were placed in what are now the outer cottages here. The hospital then became a barracks until 1844. It's also been used as a military lunatic asylum. During World War II, it was used as an information and administration centre. It did suffer some bomb damage then. In 1958, it became an NHS psychiatric hospital. The hospital closed in 1993 and the building lay empty for 3 years until plans for conversion came into being and the apartments were finished in 1997. You can visit the apartments during Heritage Open Days. And you can nosy around the grounds if you're a nosy parker like me who just walks through the gate. Aren't they grand though? This is a lovely, photogenic space. Now, I visited the Nelson Monument and the Royal Naval Hospital in March 2024, so not my most recent visit. In March 2024, I stayed at the Premier Inn, right near the Pleasure Beach. This is a bit of filming I took on my walk back. Now, this is the roller coaster, also known as the Scenic Railway. It's wooden and it dates back to 1932. To this day, it is the best roller coaster I've ever been on, and I've been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach and to Disneyland as well. I love the bit where the ride goes really, really fast underneath the slats. If you've been on it, you'll know exactly what I mean. I'm going to finish with a walk down Regent Road at night. To the left, you have the Troll Cart pub. What is a troll cart, I hear you ask? It's a skinny cart, especially designed to fit through the narrow Great Yarmouth rows. Here's a photograph I took of one. This one sits in the Toll House Museum. Let me speed you up through here, and I will tell you that the lights you see dangling above are not BMW insignias. They represent Scroby Sands Wind Farm, which is a wind farm of 30 generators sitting off the coast of Great Yarmouth. I will leave you with a photograph of mine, looking the other way up Regent Road, watching the pretty lights disappear into the sunset.
Thank you for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't watched part 1, the link is on the last page, and there are also links there to a couple of other Great Yarmouth videos that you might enjoy. Don't forget to give me a like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and do click on the notifications bell. Leave me a comment telling me what you thought. Until next time, ta-ta for now.